All right, here we go.
Where's this? There'll be shows and props and TV stars and heaps of crazy dressed up fans like me. Imagine us at a sci-fi convention, surrounded by all those dorks. We fell for that old Jedi mind trick. Guys, did so many comics on my Apple already. My mum told me how to sew. Guys, we should go to this. This looks really cool. We should have a good look. Wow. Look, it's a nice thing. What the hell? What's this? This is black and white. But you're colorblind. Me too. This is so real. Sorry. Right now. For what? Okay, that's better. Oh my god, we lost the space. Looks like his face puzzle. Are you getting the kick now? Can't you keep it in your head for 1 minute? Your designation. We're from Auckland, New Zealand. How can they know?
Frost is the Tastarian battle lord. There isn't a civilization in this system here, raised to the ground. The uncertain moment of death will not stop until he has you.
Seems like such a dick. Our home is good. We need to get back there urgently. Yes. Prepare yourselves for teleportation. Jeffrey's acting weird and lost.
We are on a mission of great importance. Get on!
I'm gonna finish this time.
Whoa! How about that? Well. Hello, internet people. Everybody, today, boy, we have a real day here. Today is Saturday. Man, what is today? This is Saturday, what? September 19th,
Yeah.
2020, fourth quarter. No comment?
But
Well, I want to thank everybody for showing up today. We have Candace alongside Candace Augustin. How you doing, Candace? Thanks for
I'm very good.
just for folks to know, because some people may not. Candace is also one of our film judges here at SciFi Miami, and is also a screenplay judge. She's probably going to be real shy about it, but she's got a degree in this stuff. She actually went to school for all of this stuff. So, we've asked her to really go gentle with us. Please be gentle with a lot
Okay.
of our low budget or our sci-fi filmmakers or folks that are just we just like to make film, right? And we're hoping we're going to make a profit, right? Right?
Yeah.
And of course, there's some of us who do make the films and we do make a profit, and some of us who make sci-fi in really distant, bizarre places in the world. You may not expect there to be any science fiction. And sometimes you make money when you're there too. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's a passion project, right? Sometimes you're just trying to make a statement, right? Sometimes you're still in the process and you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So that is the way it goes sometimes, right? In any case, my name is Troy Bernier. I am the director of SciFi Miami. And today we're going to talk about a movie called This Giant Papier-Mâché Boulder is Really Heavy. Really heavy. Okay, Papier-Mâché, really heavy. This was a film that came to us back in, I think it was around 2016 when this film came to us for the 2017 festival. And it was a real hit, smashing hit. Did very well at the festival. It won Best Comedy. Yes, it's comedy time, antidepressant time. And this film is one of those little films that will definitely, if you're not going to smile, you will laugh. It's got some very funny scenes in it, some bizarre scenarios, some awesome witty dialogue, and some really funny acting. If you're a fan of some of the primetime TV shows of today and the last century, comedy, you're gonna like this movie. And we've shared the link for folks who are in. I think there was geo blocking on the film. We'll have to get that from the director, who is going to be joining us today, Christian. But there is some geo blocking, and I think the whole world can't see the film. You can see the film in the U.S. I already know that because people have mentioned it. But I think it's geo blocked in some parts of the world, so it's not for everybody to see yet. You have to pay for it. There's a paid location for it, and there's a place that you can watch commercials alongside with it. So if you can put up with the commercials, you'll enjoy yourself. And let's see, any other news to report? Do you have any news? First of all, where are you, Candace? Where are you coming from?
So I'm in London at the minute.
Yeah.
Same, just indoors with the coronavirus. Nothing really is happening.
How long are you expected to stay indoors?
Well, it's been around 5 months now, so I think everything's slowly back, opening up again, but we might have another lockdown. So
okay, yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. My engineer here is.
All right.
What do you mean it's not working? It works
Mommy
fine.
said it's broken. See, that was not popping in.
It's fine.
It's supposed to pop in.
It's fine. This is fine. We'll deal with that later, okay? Thank you so much. When you get good help, good engineers, you got to keep them.
You do. You really do.
She just is able to get into all the nooks and crannies and find all kinds of trouble.
Oh.
Anyway, but yeah. So in the UK, London, I did hear that there is going to be some shutdowns coming up for you guys.
Some local lockdowns already, and then possibly talks about maybe a full country lockdown, but hopefully not.
Wow.
Hopefully not.
I thought I was really looking forward to going to a movie or something over there.
Yeah.
That's not happening anytime
soon. Not a minute.
Holy smokes. Well, let's talk about New Zealand. New Zealand's far away from me. I'm in South Florida. I think it's far from you too.
Yeah, it's far from me as well.
Matter of fact, if you look up at the night sky in New Zealand, the stars are different. You know why?
Why?
It's underneath. It's down.
Yeah.
So they're looking that way, and we're looking this way.
Oh yeah. I never thought of that.
That's pretty different. Well, guess what? We've got a different person. We have a person here from one of those different places right now. And I'd like to welcome Mr. Christian Nicholson on the scene. There he is.
Hey, I was going to hang upside down because, I'm down under, but too much of a challenge.
And with that fact, not only is it underneath us, but it's on the other side of the planet. So what time is it right now, Christian?
Oh, well, now it's 7:10, but, I've been up for a while. Still feeling
7:10 in the morning.
On Sunday. So we're
on a Sunday. It's 10 past 3 on a Saturday afternoon here. What time is it for you, Candace?
It's 8:10 at night here in London.
Yeah, life begins in New Zealand, in the world.
Oh man,
we are the first place in the world to see the sun.
Wow. I have traveled to New Zealand. I've been there, and it's a beautiful country. First of all, I had the luxury of seeing both islands, the two big islands, North and South, and I was very, very impressed with the country. I think I've seen. It was Auckland. Oh man, I'm going to embarrass myself here. There are many different cities you have in New Zealand for a place as small as I think it is. New Zealand is pretty small. How many people in New Zealand? About four?
No, I think we got about 4.5 million now, something like that. Yeah, not a big country, and it is quite a nice place.
Yeah, I was in Auckland.
Yep.
Yeah, matter of fact, you know what? I could probably.
That's where I live. I live in Auckland. Auckland's the big city. We got about 1.5 million people here.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Korean.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a big place. The city is big. Auckland is a big city, actually.
Well, actually, as far as cities goes, we were the second largest in the world. Not only in area, of course. But yeah, area-wise, it's quite big. It's a whopper.
So large.
Surrounded by, I think we got 62 volcanoes hanging around in Auckland.
Wow, that's
Well, that sounds disastrous. Are they active?
No, they're not active, but there's a few that are, potential. It's more likely that one would just come up in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Rather than anywhere else, because we've got a lot of sea around us.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm looking here. I was actually over here. What, Waikato?
Yep, that's down. You went obviously to Hobbiton.
That's by Hobbiton.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that was missing. Folks, I'm serious. I know that a lot of people like Lord of the Rings, and Hobbit. It looks exactly like that there. And I guess that's the reason why they made the movie there. But that was the only thing missing were hobbits. There were no hobbits.
Right.
But I went to a bunch of cities that were there. Very, very nice cities. I'm trying to remember some of them. There was one called Rotorua. Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, there's the smallest place in the world. Literally, just because it's filled with sulfur and bubbling stuff. You go into Rotorua and it just smells like poos.
Wow.
In a nice way. It's not a bad place. It's good.
Rotorua, and I was also in Taupo. Went to Taupo. It was gorgeous there. My goodness, Taupo was gorgeous city. Kept going south. It's a place here called Nelson or something like that. Wellington, yeah, I was in Wellington.
You've done the whole village then.
Say it again.
I said you've been around the whole country. It's an expression.
Yeah, Wellington.
Everywhere you've done the whole village.
I've done the whole village. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over here, there's a little town here called Nelson. No, Picton. I was in Picton.
Nice.
Went to Picton and went down to a place called Christchurch. Where's Christchurch?
Christchurch is down further.
There we go.
There you go. That's a bit there.
That's a big city too. Was in Christchurch, very big city. And I took a train. All the way up into these mountains here.
Nice.
Arthur's Pass. I went through Arthur's Pass, and there was snow everywhere. Right?
Wow.
And then the train started going down this side of the hill, and we ended up in a very interesting place. It was a rainforest.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Up in the rainforest into one of the towns over here. I can't remember the name of it.
Westport.
It was a big town. What'd you call it?
Westport.
No, it wasn't Westport. Oh, here it is. Greymouth. Greymouth.
Yeah.
Went to Greymouth. Wow, that's pretty small. It looked bigger than that when I was there.
It's a small town.
Yeah.
It's a bit grey.
Then we went to Rust. Went to a place called Rust where got a little bottle of gold.
Okay.
It just kept going. We went to so many different places here. Dunedin. It's just absolutely beautiful. I highly, highly recommend.
It's a big trip you went on.
Oh, say it. It was nice. It was 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and it was like a wedding anniversary.
Okay.
with the missus, and it was fantastic. Had a great time, and I tried to convince her that we should stay a while because we made so much gold. We got so much gold out of one of those rivers. I said, honey, if we hang around for a good day or two doing this, we'll pay for the whole trip. It was a lot of fun. But enough of that, man. You've got way more to say than this. Tell us about the film, man. What in the world?
Well,
what in the world caused you? What was in your head to make this masterpiece? To make this absolutely bizarre, hilarious film?
Well, I mean, it all started with me and my brother-in-law, who we love all that old sci-fi. I like Star Trek and Lost in Space, and we both love Blake Seven, and so we grew up on that sort of thing, which I guess many people have if they're into that sort of thing. And we just sort of thought one day it'd be really cool to write a comedy based in that old sci-fi land where, you know, everything is fake, like the old BBC stuff, and where you don't have to spend big budgets on making things. You can just find what's around you and make space guns and that sort of thing. And that was our inspiration. And then one day a competition came up in New Zealand, which was called Make My Movie. And we just thought, shit, let's do it. So we entered the competition, and it was a long process. And then we ended up coming second in this massive nationwide competition. And the winners got to make a movie, and and so they made their movie. They got $100,000 to make this low. It was always designed to be a low budget scenario. And because we'd written the script and all that sort of thing, and got a whole lot of public support through this competition, I had a movie ready to go, and I thought, well, I'll just make it anyway. So that's how that started. And if it wasn't for the competition, probably wouldn't have got into this. But yeah, that's the beginnings of it. And then I just had to try and get funding, and I couldn't find any funding. I went to the government, which is how most of our films are made over here. So you need government support because we don't have film studios and that sort of thing. Okay. They're pretty small. And then, I couldn't get any government money, so I just thought, okay, well, I went with the Field of Dreams approach, and we, build it and they will come. So I just decided to have an art sale, because that's my job, an artist, and I gathered a whole lot of work together and had this massive sale, and I raised about $30,000, which is about, I don't know, 20 grand US, which isn't too bad considering. And then I just started filming. I bought a Red camera, which is quite a good camera.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just a second-hand one. I had to fly to Australia to do that. Brought it back, and then the process, do you want to know the whole process? I mean, I could go on here. But yeah, so then I just started filming with my own money and gathering a whole lot of people that were into it. And yeah, it was a process that went on for 2 years. It wasn't intending to be 2 years. It was only supposed to be a 3-month shoot, but yeah, things got away in us, and I had to stop every now and then and build a set. Like that spaceship set took 3 months to build. Oh, wow.
3 months to build the interior.
Yeah. It was probably a bit more special than the average space.
This is it here. Now, where is this located? Is this in a studio, a warehouse, a garage?
So in the process of trying to find places to film for free, I met a guy at a film school, and he fell in love with the whole concept of what I was doing, and he offered me his studio space where his students were doing all their work and filming.
Wow.
And,
awesome.
Wow.
And it was, and in exchange, I would be able to help the students. They would become involved in the movie and that sort of thing. So that was amazing. It was just because I'd looked for ages to look for a space to do it. We needed quite a big space, bigger than your average garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. This is the main crew. The main cast, the lead cast, right?
Yep.
So we have you here. We have you here, and
there's Daniel, there's Cez, and there's me, and there's Kevin.
which one is Kevin?
Sorry, his name's Lewis. It's the really Lewis is the guy with the beard.
Okay.
Oh, he's funny.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
His comments were really funny, man. Well, tell us a little bit about Lewis.
Yeah, well, Lewis was one of the last people I cast, but he was quite essential, and because between Lewis, Daniel, who is Jeffrey, and me, those three had to be quite a dynamic unit. They needed to sort of be quite independent of each other, so everyone had to have a different look. I don't like seeing movies where everyone looks the same and that sort of thing.
Sure.
So
yeah,
well, they definitely look different.
We all had our own individualities. Yeah, so as soon as I auditioned Lewis, though, I knew he immediately fit the part. But there was one part in the movie which he had to go over and over again, just before I finally decided it was he was the one. And it was the bit where he stands up and starts yelling at the enemy. Yes, effing what? I was a geek too. In the like, there's two versions of the movie. The one that everyone may have watched is just now, and the one that's playing in America is the short version, which is the bit where I've cut that out. But in the long version, where you originally played the movie, that whole bit's there, and it's saying Harry loved Blake 7 and Space 1999, all that sort of thing. So in the audition, he had to yell it out about 15 times. It's quite this long monologue. He's fantastic. He really is. I mean, all my cast were really good.
Oh, wow. So,
go ahead, Candace. Well, I was going to say before you say, Candace,
yeah.
So there's more than one version of the film that's available.
Yeah. I just kept trying to improve on it. So when I first entered the film festivals, I had this 112-minute version. And then I shortened it to like 109 minutes. And then eventually, when it came out in the cinemas in New Zealand, I got it down to 99 minutes. I'm sorry I got such a deep voice. It's just that it's early. I know it's like this, you know. Yeah, so the one that I sort of prefer is 99 minutes long. It cut out a few bits, but I just feel like it has a better pace, and that's the one that's currently more available, unless you buy the DVD from New Zealand, in which case you get both versions and a whole lot of extras. So yeah, that's the one that's I would prefer.
Well, from New Zealand, what's the it's a DVD or a Blu-ray?
Well, I got both.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't buy either of them in the US unless you know someone in New Zealand.
Well, can't they buy it off the website and you mail it out?
I can't sell to the US because it's not my territory. Territory.
Okay. So
I've got to distribute.
Tell us about distribution.
So yeah, distribution has been an interesting ride. Pretty early on, I got a sales agent, and he sold to China, which was fantastic. That was a good start. And then soon after, not too long after that, we got an American distributor, who in the beginning seemed quite good, but shortly after the beginning, he turned out to be very unreliable. And in the end, we went out in the movie theaters and that sort of thing, which was great, and I got some really good reviews, and I went over to the US and did a couple of shows, and it was all over the place. But then when it came to putting it out in DVD and stuff like that, I don't know what happened, but he decided to not fulfill his orders. And then in the end, I think he went and got another job working for another company and forgot about everything else. So all these people were buying the DVDs that he'd put out, but they weren't getting them. So in the end, they had to get their money sent back, and no one got their DVDs, which is a real.
Oh my god!
So it kind of got to this point where it had gathered momentum and all that sort of thing, and then he just buggered off, and nothing happened. So, what was that?
The LA Times.
Yeah, I mean, it was doing really well. I had a really good review in the LA Times. It was just.
Oh my goodness!
It was doing. It had the potential to do. Yeah, I even had a meeting with Lord Miller. Which quite a big company. They made. What did they make? Lego Movie 2 and a few other cool movies. They were making the latest Star Wars for a while. Even they emailed me after seeing the movie and stuff like that. So that's where it was going, and then all of a sudden it just disappeared, and no one could get it. But then eventually, after about a year and a half of trying to get the movie back, we finally have, and now it's got a new distributor, and he seems to be really good, and it's now out there available in whatever platforms I said it was, Amazon Prime and those other things, which, yeah, wherever it is in the US, I should know these things, but they haven't released a DVD or a Blu-ray yet, so they're going to see how that goes.
Would it be okay to ask how long they will have the rights to the film?
Yeah, I think it's a couple of years. That's a standard thing. They take it on for a couple of years and see how it goes, make some money, and hopefully we all make money, because I haven't made much yet. Yeah.
Did they take it? So is it for another 2 more years or another year?
I'm not sure. I mean, it might be 3 years even. Yeah, I haven't.
Do you remember how many years that you assigned it to them?
No, I don't. But I'm pretty sure. I mean, they've only just had it for a few months.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Okay.
so they're a new company. Yeah. They've
So
only
it's a company now with a new agent. Okay.
Yeah, I can have a look if you want more details. I look through my emails. Where is it playing at the moment?
Are there places where one can watch it? If you go to your IMDb page.
Well, I can tell you. I mean, I can search my emails at the moment if you like. I can tell you exactly where it's available.
I can tell you. Right, well, yeah, you can go ahead, please.
Amazon, Tubi, Vudu, possibly Crackle, Pluto, Zumo, and more. That's all I know. So, yeah. How's that sound?
I'm doing a search right here on Amazon. Well, let's see. You said Amazon Prime, did you?
Oh, that was a guess. It does say Amazon. Yeah. I don't know about Prime because I don't really know what that is.
Amazon and Amazon Prime is probably one of the top 3, 4, definitely the top 3, 4, 5 places where you can watch a movie in the United States.
Watch with Prime. Yeah, Amazon Prime. Yeah, that's where it is. I can see it now. It's got 4 stars. That's pretty good.
But I need to show you.
Yeah, yes.
But it's important.
IMDb up. Good morning.
So, while Troy's looking for that, what made you what made you come up with the name? Because I know it's in the film, like the title of the film is in the film, but why did you make it the title?
Well, after watching Star Trek, a gazillion times. The old one with Captain Kirk. I mean, there's that famous scene where he's fighting Gorn, that dude on the planet, and he has this big fisticuff sort of fight with him, and ends up blowing him up with some device that he's sticks a boulder down a wooden tube and makes gunpowder and hits him with it and that sort of thing. But during that fight, Gorn picks up this giant boulder and throws it at Captain Kirk. And, it's obviously fake because the way it just sort of flies through the air and then bounces on the ground, that sort of thing. And that kind of sums up the whole ethos of the movie, I guess. You know, because everything's sort of fake looking, but when you're in the universe, it takes on the natural, whatever it's supposed to be, basically. So in the movie, when Gavin picks it up or goes to pick up this thing, it's, you know, this giant papier-mâché boulder is actually really heavy. So that's why I thought it was a good name for the movie, because it just sort of sums up the whole thing, really. And I've always liked a long title, although the next movie I'm looking to make it's got a shorter title.
You definitely get the award for the longest title.
Yeah, I always remember the Woody Allen movie, All I Wanted to Know About Sex But Was Too Afraid to Ask. That to me was just such an awesome title. So this giant papier-mâché boulder is actually really heavy, you know. It's cool. That's what I thought.
Here it is. This is
if you don't get the title, you probably won't get the movie.
This is it on Amazon Prime. And to give you an idea, Amazon, you ever heard of Walmart? Do you guys have Walmart in New Zealand?
We don't, but I've heard of it, and I've been to the US.
It's like the Walmart of movies. You can watch just about anything. Of course, now, well, that's not really fair to say anymore, because now so many places are basically creating their own broadcasting networks, like Disney Plus has done. So you can watch all the Star Wars films there, and what's the other one? Netflix. You can watch all of. I'm sorry, CBS Access has, which is now Paramount Plus, which has their own network online, so you can watch all the Star Trek products, you know, and TV shows. You can all watch them there. But Amazon is one of the big, huge depots that your film, you want to sell your film, you put it on Amazon. You get it on Amazon Prime. Anyone who has a Prime account with Amazon Prime Video, they don't have to pay, because they're paying $100 a year to have this service. And this is part of it. If you own Amazon Prime, if you subscribe to Amazon Prime, you don't have to pay anything to watch the film.
Right.
So someone watches it, you get something like 10 cents, you know, something bizarre.
Oh, okay.
You know, but if someone wants to rent it, if someone doesn't have an account, they would cost them $3.99 to rent it, $7.99 to buy the film.
Well, that seems like a good way of doing it. I mean, Netflix we got Netflix, and that's an all or nothing sort of scenario. But they don't have much variety, really.
Yeah.
On Netflix?
No, I don't find that they do. Not in New Zealand, anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, the Netflix here isn't that great either.
I mean, they've got variety, but they don't. It's not like you could ever see the latest films, like on Apple TV, and things like that. It would at least be like going to the video store, and you could check out the latest blockbusters and that sort of thing. Whereas Netflix never does that. Only has a handful.
Well, what Netflix is doing now in the U.S., not only are they producing their own content, there's a big competition going on. That's the bottom line. Yeah. HBO really dominates the marketplace. They have series that are ending up as Emmy winners almost every year. Every year is happening. Matter of fact, I think this is the first year that they're actually getting contended against by Netflix. So, it all depends on what you really like. And as you already know, science fiction is the genre that's doing very well now. It's doing very, very well, and is doing so well that everybody's making science fiction.
Right.
Every network's got a sci-fi or is making an attempt to make a sci-fi series. So the timing is really popular with the stuff.
Are theaters open in the US? I guess it would depend.
Yes. There are some theaters that are open.
Right.
Hardly anyone is going. As an example, we have a very heavily promoted feature called Tenet. I think it's called Tenet, which is sort of like James Bond style spy.
Yeah,
film.
I've seen that advertised actually.
I'm sure you did. They spent a lot of money advertising this all over the world. And this movie would normally have made anywhere between $80 to $100 million over a weekend, opening weekend.
Yeah.
I think it made 20. It made 20 million.
Right.
The top film in the country made 20 million.
Wow.
Which normally makes 100. So
I mean, because there's not much else to watch, so you think it would be a lot better, do a lot better than that. But yeah.
Oh yeah, no one's going. Hardly anybody's going to the theaters.
Yeah.
And you could stay home, and you've got all this content now. There's an incredible amount of content, available to watch. And we're talking not just any old thing. We got very, very good content right now, for viewing, and every week is something new. So it's tough. It's tough out there. It's very tough to get the message out, to get people to leave their homes. It's not going to happen because in the United States, unlike you guys, folks over here, people are still getting infected like crazy, and coronavirus is going to be around for many, many months.
It's crazy. It really is. Kieran,
how did it play out with you guys? You guys only had one person had it or something like that?
At the moment, we had another bit of another outburst. Yeah, just your
right.
Ran out of battery. Oh no, my charger's upstairs in the lounge. Sorry, I'm getting low.
Close the door.
Yeah, we got a few now. Like we went back down into lockdown.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was a few weeks ago. But lockdown for us is possibly a little bit different at the moment. Thanks. We got levels. It goes from level 1, 2, 3, 4, and level 4 is you can't go out apart from getting exercise, and we're at level 2 where we can all go to work and that sort of thing. The bars and restaurants are open, but you're only allowed groups of up to 10 people and that sort of thing. And that's in Auckland. The rest of the country is groups of up to 100, and we're hoping to go back down to level 2 in a few days. Yeah, we're at level 2.5 at the moment because we had a little bit of an outburst. One person got it, and then from there, it just snowballed. And we took a couple of weeks to find that case, and then from that one case, which came from some frozen food, I think in America. Is that
serious?
No,
They never
they never decided where it came from. Okay.
Frozen food, man. I don't know.
Anyway, we're hopefully going to be sorting that out.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their stories, but I guess it's fairly mild over here compared to everywhere else because we've got, I don't know how many active cases at the moment.
It's very bad. It's getting scary in France right now.
We got 1 or 2 a day.
Okay.
France today just had its largest number of cases ever.
Wow.
In one day.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Amazing.
Yeah. But if someone gets it, then they immediately go into quarantine. So and they all get put into a hotel, and it's all paid for by the government and stuff like that. If anyone comes into the country, they've got to go into quarantine for 2 weeks in the hotel.
I've got a buddy who flies. He's an international pilot, and he flew into New Zealand. I think it was New Zealand, and they put him in a hotel. He was in a hotel for the whole time. He was not allowed to leave the hotel. He was not allowed to do anything other than order food or eat in a restaurant in a hotel.
Right. Yeah.
And after those 3 days, or 2 or 3 days, he flew over to Australia, and it was the same thing, quarantine. It was like a quarantine hotel. So the flight crew goes there. They don't leave. They're not allowed to go anywhere.
Yeah, well, it's the only way to deal with it, really. And when you're a small enough place and you can contain it.
Right.
When you're a big place, it must be particularly difficult, obviously.
Right.
But you do got to, I guess you have to do the hard yards at some point. Well, you don't, like, is what's happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
So, it's a bummer that you had that bizarre distribution scenario. That's very sad. But it's important that there's a lot of things you get out of this. What's your take from dealing with distributors now? What's your take?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. What is my take? I don't know. It's difficult to do it without them. Although, yeah, I mean, I haven't made any money yet either way. So maybe it would be different if I was doing the whole thing myself. But you can't really. If you want to make another movie, you want to spend your time doing creative stuff rather than worrying about that sort of thing. Distributors, I don't know. I don't really need to talk about them because I've got one at the moment and I'm grateful that it's actually being played. But the first one, yeah, I don't really nice things to say about that situation. But the new guy seems wonderful.
What happened with China, Christian?
It's like a black hole with me. I really don't know. And I don't know if anyone ever knows when they go to China. As far as movies go, they buy them, and then what happens is whatever happens. I haven't heard a thing.
Did they pay you? Did you get any money up front?
Yeah, they paid a reasonable amount of money. Yeah. Not like huge amounts, but for me it was something. Mm-hmm. And then that's all I've heard. I haven't had any feedback, any response. It might have made gazillions over there, but but I haven't seen any of it, or it might not have even been shown. It's really weird. So yeah. But
oh, sorry, go on, continue. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to making the next movie. That's what I want to do.
Okay. I was going to ask you about your next movie. Is it going to be sci-fi again, or is it going to be another genre?
So I have written a sequel.
Oh, okay.
Which is cool. I had to think of a way back in there. For me, what I wanted to do with the sequel was show. I mean, because Giant Papier-Mâché Boulder, I love the movie and stuff like that, but it hasn't had a lot of exposure. So with the sequel, it's hard doing a sequel for a movie that no one knows about. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's people out there that do know about it, and I'm grateful to them, and that's fantastic. I love them. But yeah, there's not many of them. So to do a sequel for a movie that no one knows about is quite a weird thing to do. So this is, I guess it's like, what was it, Evil Dead 2 or something, where you kind of do it's a standalone story, but it has to allow people that haven't seen the first one to enjoy it as a standalone story. So it's designed to bring people into this universe from the beginning. So I have to retell a few things. But I wanted to use the same cast and that sort of thing. So it has Christian, that's what happened to Star Wars, right? Is it? Star Wars, the one that we remember from the 70s and 80s, is 4, 5, and 6. It is, yeah. One of the ones. Mm.
And so you could be positioning, there's potential to position yourself quite nicely where it'd be pretty cool if, you own the rights to this one outright on Amazon worldwide, and you release the sequel. People are going to want to see the original. If they like this, they're going to want to see the original.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. So anyway, that's the idea for the sequel. Is it's going to be good for fans as well as new people. So, and we want to do it with we're working with the New Zealand Film Commission to try and get that going ahead. It's not a it's a long process dealing with the Film Commission, and we are talking about a bit of money this time to make the movie. Not that I want it to change in the way it looks and feels, but if you like, the first one was made on no money and everyone worked for free and all that sort of thing. And when you're doing it that way, you can do things in a certain way. But when you are when you're dealing with a budget of any sort, and especially when you're dealing with the government's money, everything has to be accounted for. So what you're getting for your money is a lot less. So everybody now has to be paid, and everything suddenly you need a lot more money to make what you didn't in the first place.
Yeah.
So we're looking at.
Well, are we talking about the same cast?
Yeah, the same cast are in it, but there's lots of new characters. And the cast have they're in it, but they're not. It's not the same. Everyone's in it anyway.
Not to give it all away, but are you going to be bringing back, what's his name? Are you going to be bringing back
Lord Froth?
Yeah.
No. I love Lord Froth. I've saved that for the TV series.
Lord Froth is the guy in the middle here.
Yeah, he's fantastic. So everyone else but him.
Right.
And what's her name here in the silver outfit?
The chick, sorry, next to him.
Yeah,
that's Freligate. Yep, she's in it. So I've just filmed a short film, which is called Good Morning Stonus, and that is a prequel to the sequel. And yeah, it was done. It's funded by the New Zealand Film Commission. So it's sort of like a test for the.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been keeping these things secret. You got to send it in, man.
Well, it's not finished yet.
Okay. What time? You've got till December. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. You'll definitely get to see it.
I'd love to.
We're working on it at the moment. I've just done a rough cut, but we filmed it, which is fantastic. We managed to squeeze it in between lockdowns. Yeah. So we came out of lockdown and everything was all good and it was all fine. And I had this funny feeling that we better get on with this shoot. So I really pushed for pushing things as quickly as possible, and we got it filmed in the middle of winter, which is quite a task because it rains a lot in Auckland in the winter. But we managed to get some sunny days, and it was an amazing sort of 3 days of filming, 4 days actually. And yeah, we punched that out, and now we're in the editing process, which is quite exciting. So
it's a short,
15 minutes long. Yeah. So it's set on the eve of a battle, which the battle is in the sequel. So this is kind of like a build up. It's all these crazy people in their silly costumes. Freligate, Casimir's in it. But the main guy is called Stonus, and he arrives to this meeting for the battle a bit late, and he kind of thought it was just like this dress rehearsal. He got a note, but it was only half a note, and it said, turn up to the Windy Barrows, bring your own gun, free breakfast, you know. So he was just interested in a free breakfast. He turns up and then he finds out it's actually you know, he's about to go into battle. So he thinks, shit, I don't want to be here. That was a mistake. And he misses out on the breakfast. But he's trying to get out of it the whole time. So, but everyone else is all gung ho. Yes, we're going to fight the enemy. Ha ha, etc. And anyway, that's the little story. It's just a little so it's called Good Morning Stonus. Yeah, and I guess that will come your way soon.
Oh.
But yeah,
well, that's a real. That you did a real treat for us, and that's really cool. You know, we're something to really look forward to. You know, not just one film, but 2 films coming.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to do the sequel. This was designed to get interest in the sequel.
Yeah.
And I've got to jump through a lot of hoops with the film commission to get the money for the sequel. It's a difficult job. I mean, I can't say that they'll give it to me, but they're enthusiastic about the idea, which is why they gave me money to produce the short film. So that the idea is that we're stepping up a level in production, and I've got to prove to them that we can deal with the money that they may give us. And,
how does the rest of the cast feel about it and the crew?
About the prospect of a sequel? I mean, some of them are very excited. I think they would be. But the thing is that you haven't got the money until you've got the money. So to say that there's a sequel, it's like, you know, some of them are like, oh yeah, you know, I'll do it when I see it. But you know, I imagine they'll be pretty excited, and especially Daniel, who plays Casimir. He's, you know, he's like a #1 fan. He is.
Daniel, for folks, Daniel is the one all the way on the right.
Yeah, he's.
This is for real.
He's always come with me on the road trips and stuff like that. He's often been.
I'm so happy my mom taught me how to sew.
That's
I got friends like this, man. This is great. It's very cool. Yeah.
So you kind of, a lot of the characters are a little bit like that in real life. You know, they have their own personalities, which is with Tom, when I cast that one, I guess that was written a little bit towards my personality, which is why I ended up taking that role. It wasn't supposed to be like that. I'd cast someone else, but after 3 days of filming, he dropped out. So I had to find someone quickly to fill the job.
To find yourself a replacement, which was you.
Yeah, other than someone else. I didn't have anyone that sort of fit the bill. So that's how come I got to play the role.
Oh, okay.
But it was hard for me to justify making this movie and then putting myself in front of it, having never done acting before. But in that situation, because I'd cast someone else and they dropped out, it seemed like I could justify it. But I felt like I could do it, and I auditioned myself. It's not like I went in there thinking, I'll do it. Yeah. I'm like a movie. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's,
well, you kind of wrapped up a whole bunch here, folks. If you have any questions out there on the internet, please reach out to us.
Are there people out there?
And also, my last question is really how is the film? How do you think science fiction is perceived in New Zealand?
You know, it's pretty popular. It is. I mean, this film was quite popular in its own right. I think it's the same everywhere. There's sci-fi geeks everywhere in the world, and I think it's just a good genre that people like to, you know, escape it. We all have our fantasies. I love sci-fi. I don't know if everyone else loves sci-fi, but they can still get into the whole concept of getting out of the place, getting away and into another universe. There's lots of people that saw my movie that weren't sci-fi fans and they really liked it. So there was old ladies that turned up. They're on their way to see Bridget Jones's Baby, and then they decided to see this instead, and they really enjoyed it. So, yeah, sci-fi is fairly big in New Zealand, though, wouldn't you say? Yeah, I don't know. I like it. Yeah, but it's just it's the worldwide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, good stuff. Fantastic, man. It's you did a good job, Christian, and please, pretty please, send it in.
I will.
Send in that prequel. Send in that sequel.
I hope you enjoy it. I mean, yeah.
And hopefully, so prequel. We're talking. I'm sorry, sequel. The sequel we're talking about 2022, right?
Maybe. Yeah, I guess possibly. Yeah, that would be right. I'll be looking to make it next year, with any luck, and then it will be ready to come out in 2022, and hopefully the theaters will be back working.
Yeah, it'll be done by then.
We can make the 80 million that other movie didn't make.
Yeah, make up. Yeah, exactly.
Or at least, some of it. Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, listen. If there are there any more questions? You have a question, Candace? Anything else? Nobody?
No, mine have been answered. Yeah.
Well, nice to talk to you, Candace.
Nice to talk to you too.
And yeah, if there is anyone else watching it, then thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, there are definitely some people out here that are watching. We always tend to have a lot of people on Facebook. For some bizarre reason, people refuse to get off of Facebook. I don't know why. But yeah, a lot of our numbers come from Facebook, and of course, this is being recorded, so it gets watched.
Right. Okay.
Over and over and over again, so the numbers double, if not triple, over the next couple of days and weeks.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, hello from New Zealand.
Kiwi.
Yeah. I'll go on with the day. It's a beautiful sunny day out there. So
the sun is still shining here too. That's what's so bizarre. It's Saturday and the sun's shining, and the sun is shining there, and it's Sunday.
That is, yeah, that's cool.
Don't get it, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. Thank you so much, and we really look forward to hearing more from you.
Great session.
And, all the best with this. It sounds like to me you're going to get that second or third win when the prequel and the sequel hit the screens.
Yeah. I hope so.
Well, hey, you can always give me a call. I'm happy to strategize with you.
Yeah, I'm trying my hardest.
All right, now.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you.
See you later, everyone. Bye.
Right, take care. Take care, Christian.
Okay. Now you hang up.
Wow, that was pretty cool, huh?
Really cool.
Yeah, real cool cast. It's an interesting story.
Yeah.
Story, and it shows you how someone has a film that has potential and then demonstrates that there's interest and a lot of people are interested in the film, and then something happens in the distribution side.
Yeah.
And it kind of derails the operation. So the nice thing is that there's a good chance that this film here, may get its still has a chance to have its day.
Yeah.
Because that does happen. I've spoken with lots of people in the distribution world. There is this mysterious thing that happens sometimes around the later half film's life when it's in that prime window, that 3-year window. And a lot of people watch the movie later on than early on. So he's got two other instruments that are going to help promote this. So
very true.
And it's the kind of film that doesn't, it's a timeless piece.
It is.
You can watch this for the next 20 years. So good stuff. Good stuff. Anything else? Anybody else want to say? Anything you want to add, Candace?
No.
Well, what's next? Who are we interviewing next?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'm not sure who we're interviewing next.
There is a large pool of people that have expressed interest in being on the show. So
That's
there's more coming.
cool.
All right. Well, that's it for now, folks. Thank you so much, and
Thank you, guys.
we look forward to next time. We'll probably be on in another 2 weeks. That's at the end of the month. And so be on the lookout. Stay on the mailing list. Keep your eye on us on social media. Tomorrow is a submission deadline. That's the 20th. So get your film in, and we look forward to more and more and more. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.